Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of the Whispering Dawn podcast. We are a weekly Final Fantasy IV podcast. This is our last recorded one, and next week we go live.
Woohoo!
My name is Lothathro Wylith. I'm going to be your host, and as usual, I am joined by some very lovely ladies. Dem Precox.
Hello.
Aerith Preverith.
Hey, hey.
Sierra Faye.
Hello.
Giganta Thaisk is not going to be able to be with us today because she's one of the lucky ones that got to go to E3, so I'm kind of jelly on that one.
We all are.
Yeah.
However, we got a very special guest. We were on her show the couple weeks ago, and is the host of the Chocobo Dash podcast, Nell Celestine.
Celestine, but close enough.
Sorry.
It's totally okay. And the fact that you included our intro song in the intro here is amazing, including the fat Chocobo part. Oh my god, I was trying not to push the button to just laugh because that part's so funny.
I'm glad that you like it.
Oh, dude, if you've ever played the game, anybody who's listening, our theme song is based off of Chocobo Racing for PlayStation 1, or the Japanese version of it is called Chocobo Dash. But that little fat Chocobo part is when the fat Chocobo is driving and little Chocobo is trying to get around him and can't because he's going so slow.
Well, I do have a few things to go over before we actually start this podcast or start talking about the stuff that we have to talk about. As usual, you can catch us on iTunes, Stitcher. Starting next week, we are live on twitch.tv Whispering Dawn. So we're going to be live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, just make sure you follow us on Twitter at Whispering_Dawn, Tumblr, Facebook, and you can even contact us at thewhisperingdawn@gmail.com. And how is everybody doing today?
I'm doing great. And how are you?
I see we got our little mascot back today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he's always there, but I think he's feeling a little extra chatty tonight, so it's going to be a little interesting tonight.
It's a little bit tired over here, but that's because this is a lot later than I'm used to recording. But, the excitement of being here is keeping me up.
Lala, we're really glad to have you.
I'm doing good, and I'm really happy to finally meet Nell.
Yes,
Yay.
Nell's awesome.
You guys flatter me too much.
Not at all.
Maybe not enough.
Enough. Not at all.
I have to agree with them. It's not enough flattery. You've done a lot for us, getting the word out about us on Twitter and stuff like that. So we do thank you.
Yeah, we owe you one for sure.
Well, if you're ever in the neighborhood, I could use some help with farming MGP against the Imperial.
Hey, I did see you. You were just AFK.
Yeah, I tend to get bored from playing the Imperial after so long. I mean, I'm almost at almost at 1/3 of the way to my total MGP.
Props to you on that. Like I've been to Gold Saucer like 3 times. But it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, looking at the thing though, I'll just talk about that more later in the show. What's going on there?
Okay. We do have some house cleaning stuff to do. I'm sorry now, but we do have a few things to go over here. We are live next week. As a bonus of going live, we also giving away live on the air a 60-day time card. We are going to give a nice Chocobo plush away. At least I am. It's the one that I showed you girls earlier or a couple weeks ago probably, with the Chocobo that's reading.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I have that one. So cute.
It is very cute, and I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be given away, so...
Very generous. host.
Yes.
I'm gonna spice up your pod a little bit.
Okay.
Clear.
I have an extra code for a Moogle suit. You can't get them
Ooh.
anymore.
Nice.
So I will give away one of those on your show for you guys next week. I won't be on your show, but I'll give you the code to give away.
That is awesome. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Right.
I know Giganta was planning something. I don't know if she is actually doing something or not. We'll have to find out next week, I guess, if she's going to be doing anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother her while she's basking in the glory of E3.
Also, on our way to livedom, we'll be doing a couple things. One, by Tuesday night, whether I'm tired or not, our YouTube channel will go live as well. And we're going to be putting all of the podcasts on there, unedited. Plus,
Yikes.
plus I have
Even the creepy guy episode?
I was just about to announce that one because no one's heard that one before but us. But yes, that one will be going up, and you can see how bad and why I couldn't use it because of my microphone at the time. So, yes, even that one's going up unedited. And that was actually Sierra's first episode, I believe.
I think so. That
Yeah, it
was
was her
my
birthday.
my introduction birthday episode.
So that's going to go live. On Thursday, we are planning on doing a live reaction to the patch notes being read. At least I know I'll be there, so whoever wants to join me can join me for that. Plus, I'll be putting up later today, or tonight, the Twitch schedule for early access. I think it's in our notes right here, so I will get to it probably later on tonight or something. But I will be kicking it off at 5 o'clock in the morning when it goes live. And then I know Aerith is after me, and after that I don't remember the schedule, so that's going to be posted on Twitter.
I think it's you again.
It's
It
me.
might be.
Let's take a look here. Let's see. It is you, and then it's me, and then Aerith, and that's all we have so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is incomplete at the moment because we still have a couple more people to add their times in here, so that's going to be good. So let's actually get into some of the stuff that's been happening. We've had a couple developers' vlogs and everything drop. Everybody see those awesome pictures of the movesets?
Yes.
Yeah, they look pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Aerith, what about that monk?
I can't wait for Heaven's Sword already. It just made it want me to come so much faster. Um, I have a feeling that the captions they're showing are like the level 60, so that's probably like the last ability you'll get, the new ability you'll get, and I just really want to see my monk do that already.
Yeah, one of my officers mains monk, as I've talked about before, and he is super excited for his fists of laser beams, and he is literally standing outside the gates of Ishgard, and literally standing outside the gates of Ishgard, waiting. I know we still have a week, but he's very excited for his fist lasers.
That's hilarious. That's exactly where I park mines every night now.
What do you think about them now?
I'm excited. I know that I'm not going to get right when early access boots up, but my first goal is I'm going to get the Twitch stream up and running as soon as I get home from work, and I'm going to be joined just far enough for me to be able to get Dark Knight, and then I'm going to be grinding up Dark Knight probably on stream to get that as close to 60 as I can for Sunday, because on Sunday myself and a bunch of my friends, we're going to try to blitz through the entire storyline in one day.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow,
Lots of
props to
caffeine.
you.
Yeah, we're gonna try to go from start to finish as far as we can in one day. Now, that's not to say we'll actually be able to finish it, and we're not going to skip any of the cutscenes because we're mostly role players, so lore and that kind of information is really important to us. So we're going to go through all of it. So I've already warned people on my stream: spoilers everywhere.
I told them, I think last week's podcast, technically every single thing you do in Heaven's Sword is going to be a spoiler, so people should know that no matter what they're looking at.
Yeah, but I still consider it spoilers until early access is over.
Shay, that is true, and that's something that I didn't think about. I mean, it really is a spoiler if people don't have early access and they're waiting, you know. If they view this content, they're probably going to be spoiling their own story. So I urge them to take their time and abate their curiosity and wait until they have a chance to get to it. That way they're not missing out on something that's so deeply
Or watch it
anticipated
with
for a while.
me and discuss it live while I go through it. I
There
don't
you
mind.
go. So,
I know I'll be doing Astrologian, like blitzing through that, so people's going to be watching me stream that. So, however, before
Believe
we
in the
get,
heart of the cards.
I will. I can't wait because, like, after like our podcast last time, I've listened to other podcasts, and they were going over all these abilities, and I did not know where these abilities were coming from until I found out, and we're going to be discussing that a little later in our podcast, most likely. However, before that, they did tell us when the maintenance for this patch is going to be. So it's going to be from 2 a.m. Pacific time on June 18th to 2 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 19th. A full day. How does everybody be coping with that?
Crying.
I'm
But
okay
hype.
I'm
All the hype.
okay with it. I'm okay with it
Get
as long
some
as
rest.
work is make things I can. I'm gonna sleep, and I'm gonna get my house ready so that I got my stuff good to go. So that when it hits, that's all I gotta deal with. I gotta deal with my baby, and I gotta deal with my game.
Sierra, now?
I'll probably sleep. I plan to get up like right as maintenance is over and get on and start. So I'm gonna have to stock up on like caffeine and sleep and all that good stuff.
Right? Go to Costco, get a case of Red Bull.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna be at work when access first starts and when the game first launches. So I'm gonna start the patch before I go to work, and then I'll be playing as soon as I get home. Thankfully, it's short shift.
Well, hey, you gotta make the money so that you can pay for your game sub, right?
pretty much in the move, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want to say I'll be getting rest, but that's actually the weekend of my daughter's birthday. So I'll be getting things ready for her birthday party for the 20th.
So you'll just have like non-stop parties.
Pretty much. I mean, I'll be getting up once it's up and running, ready to go. My husband took the time off for my daughter's birthday first, and it just happened to fall on expansion weekend on early access. So he'll wake me up once he started downloading it, and he'll brew me some fresh coffee so I can start playing.
There you go.
Nice.
it's gonna be that I'm probably gonna be playing other games, getting ready for it, and stuff like that. So I unfortunately have to work the Thursday, but I don't have to work some on Friday. But I will be up when it opens and streaming. And okay, they also announced that there's going to be some item adjustments coming, and there's a whole slew of stuff that will no longer be exchangeable after Heavensward. Well, actually, as of early access, actually, the Inferno Seal, Vortex Seal, Tremor Seal, Inferno Totem, Vortex Totem, and the Koopa Nut Charm, as well as the Fury's Anthem and cracked material will no longer be able to be exchanged.
I better cash in that cracked materia now.
Yeah, same here.
Never even had so many. I figure that they're probably going to make them obsolete. So it is nice of them to give us a heads up, though, so that you don't, lose out on it. I know that I have some Inferno and Vortex seals and stuff sitting in one of my retainers, but I've been capped on Soldery for like 3 weeks now, so I'm not sure I'm going to cry over 7 tomes.
Are those seals the same as the tapers? Or is that completely different?
Different. I think that those are different.
Yeah, they're different.
Guess I'm in the clear then.
That's good. You can exchange the like the seals and the totems and the charm and the anthem in Mordonia to Elena, and the cracked material at the Calamity Salvagers. I have none of this. I don't even know where to get it, so...
The only way you can get any of this stuff is 1.0. It's all carryover.
That's probably why I don't have any of it.
I have all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, those original items. I don't know about the Tremor Seal. Tremor Seal doesn't make much sense. It might have been from something that might have been like, I don't know, Hamlet or something.
I don't exactly remember where they came from.
Like the totems, the totems and the Koopa Nut Charm obviously came from the primals.
Yeah. I'm not
even if people don't get those in, I mean, it looks like they're worth 1 or 7 tones, so I don't think people will be hurting too bad.
They're on the deep.
Nah, mines are going to be wasted anyways because I'm capped.
Yeah, see, I've been capped for weeks. Like, I think that, previously I was using them to buy materials that I would sell on the market board, but I guess I'm not the only one doing that because everybody's capped.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, and all the prices of things have just absolutely tanked to the point
I know.
it's not even worth it. I mean, stuff that was going for 2K a piece is down to like 100 gil a piece. I'm like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. What?
Well, that's pretty much all the Heavensward stuff we're going to go over at the moment, because we do have a full docket here. we'll go over the new skills if we have time here. However, we got some subjects here that's, you know, that was brought to some of our attentions, and we're just going to go over it here. Where do we draw the line in keeping our gaming companions close while protecting ourselves from internet predators?
Right. Okay. So, what we're talking about is the fact that we're joining with free companies, we're meeting people, we're spending time, with these people, and we're getting to know them. But it's almost kind of like online dating, only, for me, obviously, it's without that romance factor. And how do you know that who you're talking to really is who they are? And what steps can you make sure that you implement to make sure that you do stay safe? And is it worth it to let people into your life and let them onto, say, your Facebook or your Twitter or even your phone number? What are your guys' thoughts on that, on something like that?
Well, I know personally for me, aside from you ladies, which I met on Facebook, and that was via our Final Fantasy, uh, one of the Final Fantasy pages. I keep it completely separate. The only people in game that know me outside of game are actual real life friends. And these are people who I've been gaming with and have been friends and like family for over 15 years. Those are the only people. Everybody else that comes in, I will be as good of a friend as I can be to you in game. Aside from that, because I have no way of knowing who you are in real life, what you really do, at the end of the day, I'm still a mother. I'm still a wife. I still have to protect my children, and I heavily believe in protecting my reputation with me and my husband. So I won't allow anybody to get any more personal than via game.
I'm with Aerith on that. I keep things completely separate. All my social media, well, other than I guess my Facebook for the 14 group, I didn't make a separate one for that, but I have a personal Tumblr and then I have a 14 Tumblr, which are completely separate accounts. And then I have my personal Twitter and my 14 Twitter, which are also completely separate. And I don't know if that's, I guess in safety is always a thing for me, but it's less about that and more just, I feel like it's kind of a work thing. I mean, the game isn't work, but people don't like to mix their personal life and their work stuff. I guess that's kind of the same. That's how I feel about that. It's not that I'm afraid people are really gonna become creeps. I just feel like they should be kept separate.
I just generally don't really trust that many people. I'll tell you guys
Right.
something that nobody really knows about me. I have a niece who was kidnapped when she was 4 years old, right out front of her door, and this was in 1994. She was never located. And that kind of molded me into the kind of person I am as far as I keep things separate. You never know what kind of person is after you, and unfortunately, you never know what a stalker is and who they can be until they get this unhealthy obsession with someone. So, I mean, just as a matter of protection for myself and my family, I try to keep things as separate as I can.
Yeah, it's something you always have to be extremely careful of. And even if you are careful, sometimes you have to take extra steps later on. I had a couple of friends in 11 who actually had to file police reports because somebody tracked them via IP and then started stalking them that way.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
That's some serious stuff. And and I can kind of comment on that because I think that maybe I'm a little bit different in the fact that I have let some of my officers and one of my close friends in my free company actually onto my Facebook. But we've been gaming together for, you know, well over a year now, and took a lot of trust out of me and also my husband to kind of let these people into our lives on Facebook. But I think that for me and for us, it's a little bit different, mostly because it does give us a way to work together and converse when certain things come up. But as far as, a personal Twitter or something like that, those are the kinds of things that I choose to kind of keep at a distance. And when it does come to my free company, at first we were really, really open to just anybody and everybody that wanted to come in, but we've kind of really sat down and realized that we like to be a little bit more close knit. And so it's a little bit different for us because there's not 500 people in our free company. There's about 100, but there's far less active players. And having had a concern come up recently, and without really getting into too many details, there was a decision that was made, a mutual decision to make sure that we screen people that we let in, and it's just because we're so close that we're going to be careful to make sure that we don't let anybody into our, I guess, in our inner circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of how my link shell goes, I guess. I trust just about everyone in there, and I think a lot of that is because we are constantly in TeamSpeak, and it's hard to say that I can trust anyone that I talk to over the internet because that's not true. But once you get to actually voice chatting with people, and we are in there seriously all day. And it's just been, I think I've been on that server, Siren, for 10 or 11 months now, which isn't too terribly long. I haven't known these people for several years, but just the bond that you form, especially when you get to actually speak with people versus just, emotionless typing. I feel really comfortable with them. Not that, I would be like, hey, here's my address, here's my personal Facebook to all of them, but we also kind of just, we don't invite everyone that, wants to join the link shell, or we kind of wait and see how they act and run some things with them. And then, we let them in, and if it doesn't work, we're just, hey, you're not fitting in very well with kind of what we have going. So we're going to let you go. But, I have a strong bond with a lot of people in there.
Okay,
That's
then
exactly what.
the one thing I want to pose here, because talking about all this, I think we've all heard stories about people meeting, spouses and stuff like that through playing, online games. I
I
met.
actually, that's exactly. I'll let you finish, but I have a story that I want to share. So, but I'll let you finish. Let me know when it's my turn
Okay.
for sharing.
Because I've made it no secret, I think, on this podcast that, I met my boyfriend through, Final Fantasy 14. We have yet to meet or anything, but, we feel close to each other. We're talking about, meeting each other and stuff like that. And yes, I'll be taking the necessary precautions when I do go out, just to make sure my safety is, paramount and everything. But, we've I've heard stories forever about people meeting in like EverQuest or WoW or even Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 11 that get married and have like really great relationships. Now, do we actually keep safe until, we meet each other? Or, I mean, I don't understand anything about that, I guess.
I've got a story after Demi.
And
Well,
I after you.
you finish. I just have to share. I actually have some really, really good friends of mine that are just wonderful people. And I think that I've actually talked about them before, but they actually met on an MMO. And their relationship started virtually. And they met and they got married and they have 3 kids and they are just absolutely in love with each other and they are both just beautiful people and they have the most adorable little family, and so it did work out. But then at the same time, there's stories of where it hasn't, and people's hearts get stomped on, or of course there is always that danger of the internet predator, and maybe there's a base human intuition that comes into play there. I don't know personally anybody who's had like a catfish type experience, or something really, really awful happen with someone that they've met through the internet. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. My turn's over.
Unfortunately mine didn't work out, but I would still say it was successful. And I haven't really talked about this much or at all. But when I was really young. When I started Mabinogi, I want to say, I don't know if anyone has ever played that, but I met someone on there and we started dating after a little while. And we were really young, so there was the in the future I want to live with you and blah blah blah. And so 4 years, we went 4 years, long distance, and then I was sent to go see some family over by where he lived. And so we got to meet when I went down there. And I was not quite 18 yet. So, I had like my grandpa and my aunt come and sit with us at this cafe. And they kind of screened him. I mean, not like the, drilling with questions, but, they were like, I like how he looks at you and he doesn't seem like a creep and all this stuff. So then we went another year long distance, and then after graduation, I moved in with him across the country for 2 years. And unfortunately, like I said, it didn't work out. But I would still say it was super successful. I don't know, it was just, I think honestly, it felt just like meeting someone in person. I mean, you don't trust everyone that you meet, even in person. You eventually just learn to trust that person, and I feel like it just develops like any other relationship, kind of. I mean, unfortunately, you're not there, face to face with them, but trust wise, I think it just develops kind of normally, and you naturally progress to that point. I'm done.
All right, my turn, I guess. In 11, I was friends with a lot of people in my shell, and we ended up getting a white mage who's basically like, okay, this is my last attempt at joining a group, and if this doesn't work out, I'm quitting MMOs altogether. So I brought them into our shell. We started hanging out, introduced them to a couple of my friends. 2 of them really started to hit it off. And it was just happened one day. We all, like the 3 of us, went and did a 3-person instance battle. And we almost wiped. The 2 of them were dead. I was the only one who was alive. And as a Dark Knight at the time, I didn't have any kind of raises. So I was like called in some friends to come raise, and I sat down on top of them, as I typically do when 2 people are dead. And it was apparently at that point they decided from talking to each other that they were going to get married. And I went to their wedding 2 years ago. They flew me in as their guest of honor.
Oh
Oh,
my
that's
God.
awesome.
God. See, and I think that we're seeing that maybe there's more good stories than bad. I've had a lot of friends that I've met online. I think it's just about being careful, and about using your human intuition, you know, and
Always have a safety wall. Always have a safety wall.
just exactly, always have a safety wall. I couldn't have said it better myself.
No, I do challenge our listeners out there too. If you have any stories like this, please send them in and let us know, so that way we can, talk about this more. Because I do think this is something that everybody's experienced. Probably, how far do you let that stranger that you just met in an MMO? Do you let This is a good question for even our listeners. Do you let them in, or do you just keep talking to them and maybe something evolves over time, or we'd like to hear your thoughts as well.
Yes, please let us know both the the good and the bad, of course, with whatever level of comfort you have on that, though, of course. So
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to name names, just tell the story, and that sharing
exactly.
that's a good experience and helps, raise awareness that this is not something that's a bad thing, getting to know people online, but at the same time, just be careful as well.
I think that applies to any aspect of life, though. Really, I mean, wouldn't it be the same as going into a bar, and meeting someone there? You still don't know what that person is, um, you know. So it's just always have that safety net, always be careful, and always just be smart,
Okay, I've actually noticed the time here, and we still got some time left. So let's check all these details about the new jobs that we missed in our last episode, because I didn't even know this existed. And that's some of the new skills for some of these new jobs, and even some of the skills for pre-existing jobs.
I would just like to say that monk skill, I imagine a macro, a Kamehameha macro. I'm waiting
Uh-huh.
for it.
I think we talked about this between me and Aerith at one point, that yeah, we're gonna try to find some of those kind of macros.
Yeah, we'll have to be on the lookout.
Honestly, it looks almost like a rocket jump to me.
Happen. It looks like laser beams. And I think that's really cool. And I'm really, really excited just to see the strength of it, Monk is really fabulous as a DPS. It's very, very strong. And I'm really stoked to see if it looks if it actually is as devastating as it looks.
I have to say, I think the best comment that I've seen on all of these was somebody on Twitter made a comment about the Warrior one turning into Samael from Neon Genesis.
Very nice. I when we were actually looking at the pictures of them, and I know that part two maybe has a back up to the picture here. When you look, um, some of them are pretty kind of straightforward, and then a lot of them are really mysterious. And the ones that I think that I'm most interested in are Black Mage and believe it or not, Summoner. And then, of course, because it is my main, the White Mage ability. And I'm not sure what they do, but they definitely are really, really, really pretty.
I might have to go back and level my scholar up to 60, because that scholar picture was amazing too.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear that it's, some kind of a shield. But I think that that's really great for Scholar, because a lot of their stuff is really about, buffing. And I'm really glad to see that they followed suit in that, because as a white mage and as a scholar, but mainly as a white mage, I love a scholar who can really do their job really well, because when you get a white mage and a scholar together, nobody's gonna die.
That white mage skill looks like white mage flare,
It does.
and
It
I'm
kind of
really stoked for that.
Alrighty, on these skills that we missed last time, let's start with the Dark Knight there. and they're getting an opening weapons code called hard slash, and spin slash, and power slash. All of these are enemy producers. Some of these look really awesome. I'm sorry, just like by reading them. You got stuff like Salty Earth, which is a ground targeted AoE that has a non-elemental magic attack that hits targeted enemies.
All I can picture now is elitist rage salted all over the place. Dark Knight's using that for generating enmity.
Yeah, that's interesting to me for a tank, just because you see a lot of those with healers and casters.
I think the thing that just makes me like really want to try out maybe them when you come in is like the blood price, and I believe there's an action, I don't remember what it's called, that you can put on somebody, and if they die you get some of your HP back.
Yeah, I do remember reading about that, which is pretty neat. And I think it's interesting in the fact that it kind of forces tanks to pay more attention to the party, because I know that it's easy to just focus on your mobs and your hate on all the mobs that you pulled. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that that's really cool, and I agree with you that, having been tanking for a while, really easy just to focus on the hate meter and the mobs, like you said. So being able to, in a sense, kind of being put in a situation where you really have to pay attention to everything, for me, that's really, really cool, and that's going to make things interesting.
No, this list actually makes Machinist a lot more cooler than what we've been led to believe so far. And I like the name of the turrets: Auto Turret Rook and Auto Turret Bishop.
Yeah, I think that's really. I think that's. It's big chess. I'm going to be really interested to see like the animations that come with that.
Well, I just like it because, and this is me being nerdy and geeky, but I really love chess, and any illusion I can get to chess is awesome to me.
Very
User
sure.
disconnected from your
I haven't
channel.
a long time, but it's going to be really, really cool to kind of see that come in to Final Fantasy, and it'll be neat if maybe they can kind of maybe take it a little bit further.
Yeah, and then the
Plus,
astrologian we're going to touch on real quick, and then we'll get to emails. Is I'm glad that I actually got to see a lot more of the some more of the skills besides the cards, and we're gonna get Benefic 2, which is like Cure, and Cure 2, Helios, which is Medica, and Ascend's going to be Recitation with Weakness, and we even get like Detriment, which is the equivalent to like Asuna and Leeches. So that's going to be awesome to play around with. But I think the one thing that I'm going to love is Sinistry, which you put a target on somebody, a Sinistry target on somebody, and then if you heal somebody else, the thing that you targeted first gets like 50% of the amount of HP that was recovered. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
yeah, it's really gotten me interested in it actually. Or it really didn't kind of snag me in, but I'm definitely going to give it.
I think Benefic is really cool too, because it has that that chance to cast what is it? Is it Benefic 2? So it's just like Cure, I guess. Cure and Free Cure.
Well, the way they make it out, then we'll have to see when it comes out, because it actually just says that it can instant cast Benefic 2. So
That's interesting, huh? So it
And the
might be more like Sacred Soil. No, that's even different. Never mind.
and the one
We'll
thing
definitely
that
be finding out for sure soon enough how they all work.
yes, we will be. The one thing we did get wrong on the podcast, we were looking over this stuff. I think it was like last week or the week beforehand, is that there is actually no bad cards. The one that we thought was like a 10% or negative, or the damage increase is actually a damage reduction.
Oh, okay. So it must have just been the translation then or something.
Yeah, I think so. Something just got lost in translation.
I'm glad they corrected that.
Yeah, because like even like because I'm a big CCG player, which is collectible card games for those who don't know. And I know when I'm making a deck, I don't put any bad cards in my deck. That's almost asking to be defeated.
Yes, but at the same
Right.
time, an astrologian wouldn't be playing like with a deck of cards to win or lose. It would be more something along the lines of like, say, the tarot cards. There's no good cards, there's no bad cards, but each card has a different meaning when attached to other cards.
That's true, but I was also thinking, you can discard or just, cycle through the cards as much as you want. So I felt like it would be kind of pointless if they put anything kind of bad or negative in there because people would just skip it and it would never be used.
Made me not want to play at all. That it was kind of a lot of chance. I don't like my ability to heal based upon chance. I mean, of course, you've got your proc heroes and stuff that come free, but I just didn't want to draw the wrong card, and it really makes sense now. Not necessarily a bad card, and so now I'm apt to try it.
Uh, um, I guess we're also like some of us are also watching the Bethesda release too. When's the Fallout release date there now?
11, 10, 15. Now, I'm not sure in the United States, you guys settle the date and month. So is that November 10th or October 11th?
Say that one more time.
Is that a November 10th or October 11th? Because I know in Canada we go month, day, year, but I think in the States you guys go day, month, year.
We go
No, we do
month
month to
day.
year.
Month day.
Yeah, we do month to year.
Okay, so that would be November 10th then.
Yes.
With the collector's edition coming with a Pip-Boy and a Pip-Boy app for your mobile phone that you can slide into it.
Exciting.
That is awesome.
Sorry, I'm geeking out about that. It's not something I should be doing on a 14th podcast.
That's okay. We do have it saying that we do general gaming discussions as well, and E3 is a big enough topic that I think we can discuss a little bit of it. Especially since I actually wanted to mention this earlier before we started, on other things, is I don't know if anybody else has been paying attention to like the Nintendo stuff that was released, but they released 3 new characters for Smash. Roy, Ryu from Street Fighter, and I forget who the third one was.
Lucas from Mother 3, which is a freaking amazing game if Nintendo would just release it over here.
However, they are releasing Mother 1 as Earthbound Beginnings.
Yes, and that is available on. Actually, it's available now.
I like how they release, they're like, oh yeah, you can get these games. Oh, here, it's released now.
That game has been sitting in the vault forever, and I never ever thought I would see the day that I could actually be able to get a legitimate copy of this, because there's only 3 prototype cartridges in existence.
I think we lost the other host here.
Yeah.
I know we lost
You need to play it.
watch Aerithel, so yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have anything to say just because I haven't played it.
Play it. That's all I'm going to tell you. And this is not something that's negotiable, not something that can be put off. This is one of those games that you need to play and you need to experience. You don't necessarily need to play Earthbound Beginnings, but at least Earthbound, it's on the virtual console. It's $10. Get it, and trust me, it'll be an experience.
That's the one, thing I never played. I definitely have my list of things that I did play as far as old school console, but that's not one that I played.
I unfortunately never played it, but I've watched, playthroughs and everything, and it is an amazing game. Alrighty, well, let's get back to what we had in our show notes here.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. We go off topic. We've done this before, and you'll probably do it again forever.
Probably,
even when we're live.
That's okay.
We're gonna take. We did get one email, so that was awesome. And again, I wish Giganza was here, so because this is somebody from her free company again. How about we have now? Since you're the guest, would you like to read it?
Sure, but it would sound better for you guys. Wouldn't it sound better for you guys? I mean, it is a letter to you.
All right, Sierra.
Oh, okay. Hola, ladies of the Whispering Dawn. Ronan the Dragoon here. Hi, Ronan. Just finished listening to the most recent episode. Really exciting that my email was read. Thank you.
Ronan.
First thing I'd like to say is I work at a refinery as an inspector and spend a lot of time in my truck waiting on people, so I have tons of downtime. So when the podcast runs longer than an hour, that's just more entertainment for me. I don't mind it one bit. Really loved your small cameo on Limit Break Radio, by the way. I know they're a big podcast, but I actually learned of them from you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there for just a second, but that is really awesome that we're actually helping each other here. When we're mentioning the Limit Break Radio or Chocobo Dash, and they in turn give us a plug on their show sometimes. It actually helps every single podcast out there, so you can get more traffic to some of these other podcasts and make the community a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's super awesome.
Yeah, I love the fact that being and podcasts is something that's completely new to me. Really, really neat to get to meet and talk to a lot of new people and getting to guest and network and do all the things that we've been doing. Really, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Do you think this would be the time to let everybody know that at some point in the near future we're going to have MTQ Capture on the show?
Well, yeah, that might be a good time.
Well, considering you just mentioned it, so it kind of defeats the point of asking the question.
That's true.
But we're not live, so.
Yeah, I put out there, how can I get a hold of like Mr. Happy or Ms. Tech, and she responded like, yeah, just DM me, and she's like, well, with Heaven's Word coming up, I'm going to be busy, but maybe sometime afterwards. So I mean, that's awesome that we can get other people in, as guests in this podcast, and we're going to start having more guests in, even if they're not big name people, but we're trying to get guests in, and as you can see by now being here and everything.
You didn't see me, but I was waving at the microphone. Hi.
Okay.
Right now I'm trying to get the LBR people to come in, but when I told them the time and everything, he's like, I don't know, we'll see. I'm doing
the
editing.
Best one for a later show like this would be Escalia.
Probably. We'll see.
Yeah, they seemed kind of tight on schedule.
And I mean, make things, we, being flexible is thing that comes in life. So, there's always a little bit of a flexibility. We can always do something at a different time. So, let's not limit ourselves by time, because there's always another time.
Yeah, and
This
also
is true.
just make sure you give them enough notice as well, because if they have notice, that means they can put in the time off to the side. And if you're going to do a show with them, I would probably say it might be better to do an off recording rather than a live show, because they also record on Sundays every week now. So that would be kind of draining for them to be doing that twice a day.
Right?
Yeah,
Understand.
that is definitely true.
Yeah.
But I do want to put it out there. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to guest, just email us, because we're definitely taking guests. Especially when we're live and everything. So we would love to have people as guests. But
Oh, yeah.
go ahead and finish that email. Sorry for interrupting there.
That's okay. He says, also would like to add that I agree with one of the girls, and then he apologizes because he's still learning names. That's okay. That healers should only DPS if they feel comfortable. They signed up for the role of healer, no need to pressure them into DPSing. I believe the pressure of healers leading to DPS comes from the impatient players who want to get through a dungeon quickly. That being said, I don't mind spending an extra amount of time to pass a dungeon if it means we don't wipe. But then it brings up another question. Is there too much dungeon grinding in Final Fantasy XIV, or are people just too impatient? And then he says, my last question and topic is, what do you guys think of the status of the gold saucer? To me, it's become like a 7-Eleven corner store, just a place to go buy a scratch-off ticket and a weekly lotto ticket. And with the recent news of Blitzball, what new features would you guys like to see in the saucer? Have a great day, Ronan.
I think
Okay, let's go ahead and start with the first question. Is there too much dungeon grinding in Final Fantasy XIV?
there's never grinding ever. And I think that there's a lot of other things that people can do other than dungeon grinding. I mean, there's crafting, there's gathering, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do in the game that doesn't necessitate grinding the dungeons. I think what it is, and I've noticed a shift, at least I don't know if it's me that's seeing this or if it was my progression into end game content. I really saw a change in the community. When I first started, people were really helpful. They were really patient. They'd walk you through things. And then it's like once you hit 50, like everybody was just, you need to know the fight. If you don't know the fight, you're out. And it made it really, like, it really changed the dynamic for me. It went from a really warm and welcoming community to a hardcore that I wasn't really prepared for. And I don't know if anybody else has had that other experience or like a similar experience, but I really
Every run I'm on.
and to just kind of top it off on that, I guess that I can say that I kind of have been on both sides of it too. You just want to go in for a quick run to get your tomes, and then you want to get out, and then you've got somebody that's new, and you have to go, okay, well, hold on. I've got to teach this person, and we're going to wipe, and we got to go through this, and I really don't want to deal with it. So I guess I get it from both sides, I get the impatient, and I understand also from the new player perspective.
Yeah, that
Yes, but at the
was.
same token, it's taking 2 minutes to explain a fight to somebody is better than wiping and restarting or dropping for 30 minutes. And it improves the community overall. If you're willing to take the extra 2 minutes to explain the fights and train the new player up on how to handle the fight, then it's one less time that player needs to be told something.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And I really always try, you have somebody that's a new player and you really want to do everything that you can to help that person really enjoy the game because you enjoy the game. And you come out and you're just a really big jerk to somebody. I, I remember when people did that to me in other MMOs or even in Final Fantasy, and it really kind of sucked. So I try to make sure that I don't, you know.
Well, that that kind of reminds me of, it's right when A Realm Reborn came out, and I was coming from 1.0, so I had my original AF, and then I had like my Ifrit's cane, and my little group of friends and I were going through not Praetorium, what's the other one? Castrum.
Yeah.
And there was, the other person that I was healing with was a white mage. And so, we went in, we told them that we were new. And I guess they took that as a joke because, you had to get through that, I guess, in order to get to Ifrit. So they assumed that, I guess, we were joking and we had already been through it because I had the Ifrit cane. And then, he would just be like, why aren't you using regen and all this stuff? And I was like, whoa, this was not the people that I was used to in 1.0, at least not the people that I surrounded myself with. And I guess it was kind of a wake-up call that the game, might change once you get to, I guess that was in-game at the time, kind of. But I was just like, wow, that's really far.
So I'm just wondering here because we know that there's over 4 million people subscribed to the game by Square Enix's census that comes out every once in a while. Now, is this some of the negative stuff that's coming into the environment, like people getting impatient during runs, not talking to each other, forcing healers to DPS? Is that like a movement that of like other MMOs coming into the game that's used to that MMO and trying to force that kind of playstyle into Final Fantasy 14?
I think it's a combination of that and a lot of people going and looking at what are the most top tier end game elite people doing and trying to force everybody to adhere to what those standards are.
Yes, I can't really speak for other MMOs, but even not long ago, I was doing a Shiva Extreme Farm, and we put it up in Party Finder and got a full party, and we were calling out our positions, and one person said both healers should go to B because that's MLG, and I was just like, really? You really? Major League Gaming, you're gonna tell, specific people to go to certain spots. That's kind of insane.
I guess, I've done what I can, and the best that I can to stay away from Duty Finder and from randoms. And when we do have to use Party Finder, if we have somebody absent from our static, or we're just doing a run for somebody and we're trying to fill a role that we may not have at the time, try to put it out there to make sure, okay, look, this is the type of person that we're looking for. We're looking for someone who's not going to rage, someone who's nice and kind and patient, because stuff happens. RNG has a really good way of interrupting and making your plans go wrong, even when you know the fight really well. You have it on farm, still screw up. And so having moved away from really going out with random groups and strictly going through Duty Finder and actually really getting in depth with my free company and the people that I play with really improved my game experience tenfold. Absolutely tenfold.
Okay, I think we got enough of this subject. We can probably go more into it, but let's get into this next topic here. Our thoughts about the gold saucer. What is the status of the gold saucer at the moment? Is it like the email said that it's become like a 7-Eleven corner store? Or is there more to it than that?
It's emo sad corner store if you're only going in it for the fact of I want to win big and I want to win big with the most minimal amount of effort. If that's the way you're looking at it, yeah, it's going to be sad.
Honestly, that's kind of what it's turned into for me. when it first came out, you know, my whole link shell was there, and we would do gates and announce them every time they came up. Now it's just kind of, you know, I go daily for my mini cactpot. Sometimes I do chocobo races, mostly with other people. Sometimes I do gates if I want, you know, something specific, like the hairstyle for a character or something. Otherwise, for me, it's just kind of fallen off the map.
I went there, to be honest with you. I don't have a whole lot to say with it. I went there, I've probably been to Gold Saucer twice. I really
That's two more than me, just to let you know.
enjoy the. I went there, I checked it out, I tried out Triple Triad. I thought Triple Triad was really interesting. But then when it came down to it, I just kind of got onto other things, and it just hasn't piqued my interest yet. I'd really like the mounts. I'd really like the fun stuff that it offers, but I don't want to go to the effort. I'm really bad at gambling, and so
2 words for you then. Indolent Imperial.
What is that anyway?
The Indolent Imperial is the easiest NPC that you can beat at Triple Triad with a net gain of 90 MGP per match, which you can win a match in roughly 35 to 40 seconds.
Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. No, I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm just not good enough with the gambling, and it just, you know, I think the card game's really cool, but it doesn't have my interest peaked enough to take me away from farming primals and getting my ponies and getting past T9. That's what I want to do.
Now, have you made any more progress towards getting all the Triple Triad cards yet?
I am currently 25% of the way to Cloud. I still need to get Lightning from the Platinum packs, and I still need to get Furion from the Platinum packs. There's a tournament going on currently this week, and once that tournament's over, I'll determine whether I get those 2 cards. But the majority of my time right now is spent playing the Indolent Imperial for that 90 MGP gain per match, and it's slow going. I've gone through 5 seasons of Star Trek right now, trying to work on this. And this is not taking into the fact that I spent about 500,000 MGP on card boosters trying to get a couple of rare cards from that.
Well, I got to give you props because you've got more dedication for that. Is there an end game for you other than just getting all the cards? Is there a mount in it for you, or is it just
personal satisfaction and the fact that I am a TCG holic? And I played so many trading card games in real life that when they added this one, I kind of had to do it all. It just wasn't really a choice to me.
Card game, yeah.
Card game enthusiast, yay!
Hey,
I
fair
am
enough.
too. I am too, and I don't know why I have yet to try Triple Triad, so.
Maybe because you're afraid that you're gonna get addicted.
Looking right now, my current total MGP gained overall is 894,509.
Wow, I have like 123. Not 123,000, like 123. That's it.
I don't have any more of this. Okay, what features would everybody like to see in the saucer? I know in the past they've mentioned Blitzball, but is there anything else everybody would like to see?
Well, first and foremost, I want them to overhaul the tournaments and remove the cheaters. But aside from that, I would like to see more interactive games, specifically other types of games where you can actually play against other players, but only in the Gold Saucer, like arcade machines or something.
No, the one I would like to see is they mentioned this before, in one of I think it's a live letter, he was just joking about it, but that snowboarding thing looked kind of cool. Or at least it
play
sounded cool to
Blitzball.
me.
I'd really like to play Blitzball. That was I'm not too big on a lot of like the little mini games and stuff that are input into games. I don't have the dedication, I guess the attention span for it is probably more realistically what it is. It's probably the attention span. Um, but I really, really enjoyed Blitzball. And so I'd really would definitely dig getting to do some Blitzball tournaments again.
Now the thing would be, are you making a whole team yourself and you have to manage the team for the game, or would it be like you play a player on Blitzball?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, would it be random people that you're going to be teaming up with, just random people in the saucer? Are you going to be building teams? You've absolutely got a really good point on that. I think it would be really cool to be able to build like a blitzball team and go against other teams. I would love to do something like that. Absolutely.
The one thing I do not want to see in the Gold Saucer, and I don't know if everybody knows about this, is that spear break from Final Fantasy X2. I hate that game. Hopefully it doesn't come over at all anytime soon.
I couldn't get into X2. I really, really gave it a really good effort, but I couldn't do it.
30 minutes into the game, took it out of the PlayStation 2, and it hasn't gone back in since.
Yep.
I play it almost.
too.
I'm trying to beat it, so I'm actually really loving the game. The only thing that sucks for me right now is I got to a part where I need to play Spear Break and to win something, and I'm absolutely hating that game whatsoever.
I stopped playing a majority of Final Fantasy minigames after I struggled for 4 hours of overtime in Final Fantasy X trying to win that initial Blitzball tournament. I went to quintuple overtime. Quintuple.
I understand. God. It was so long ago that I played Blitzball, and all I remember is being 17 and really just loving it. But I guess who knows? There's been a lot of years between me and Blitzball, so maybe it won't be the same.
Okay,
we could always have a crossover event with Titus, and then he could teach you the marvelous Jack Shot Mark III.
You're right.
only if we can get an outfit from Final Fantasy X out of the deal.
Of course, gotta have the fashion, right?
Okay,
Male characters get Titus, female characters get Riku.
Yuna's outfit would be awesome to have. Even Lulu's would be. I would love to have Lulu's outfit.
Oh my god, my dream would be to be able to cosplay Lulu. Like
God, you have no idea how heavy that dress is.
I bet. I mean, it'd be a workout for sure. I wouldn't have to go to.
You have no idea how heavy that dress is. Oh my goodness, I made that. That thing weighs like 40 pounds.
Oh, I bet. Well, I'm still jealous though. I'm still totally jealous. Would love to cosplay Lulu someday. So, but I've decided it's going to be Yuna when it actually does happen. It's going to be Yuna because there's no way that I can cart around a 40-pound dress all day. I have a 2-year-old I got to keep up with.
I would love to be able to cosplay as Yuna as well.
Only I'd have to do Yuna. I'd have to out of 10. I can't do 10 too. So it has to be 10. The outfit in 10 was way better.
It was, actually. I'll give you that one.
I didn't like what they did to Yuna in 10, so we're not going to talk about it. I have mixed feelings.
Okay. Well, the one thing I also like about doing the show is, getting some of the tweets that we do. And I absolutely love when people tweet us, retweet us, favorite our posts. looking at you now. However, this one came off especially really awesome, and I'll actually let Dem talk about this one because she actually did coin this term so on our last show. So go ahead and read it.
Well, I can't claim invention of the term domestic goddess or domestic engineer. That's actually a term that my friend used. I bought some life insurance from him, and I think I told you guys this before. And he said that domestic engineers, they're worth 80K a year, and it's just a job you don't get paid for. And so the tweet that we got said that, let me get up. Oh, you're gonna have to edit this out. See, we can't go live. I choke under pressure.
That's okay. This will be aired unedited on our YouTube channel at some point.
Trust me, it gets a lot easier with practice.
Yeah, I definitely need a lot of practice. But the tweet we got was from, I believe it's pronounced Father or Father Regis, domestic engineers, hashtag. As a house husband, I'm totally using that. I love the term domestic engineer. I don't dig the term housewife or homemaker. To me, they're antiquated. And for me, I'm an educated person. I've worked for a really long time. I had a career for 11 years, went to college, graduated, and decided to start a family. And it was my choice to raise my kid. And to find that term domestic engineer, it was just empowering to me. It felt empowering. Domestic engineer. I mean, just the term engineer is already expected. And there's so much negativity out there. And I wish that Aerith was with us, but I think that we've lost her. She would be right there to talk to us about this too, because she's also a domestic engineer. There's a lot of pride in putting aside your own career, your own education, and your own needs to take care of your kid. And I do mine for a couple of reasons, just because there's nobody else really to do it, and also because I want to. And so it was just really cool to kind of maybe get the word out there about domestic engineers, housewives, house husbands, anybody out there that spends their time making sure that their family is happy.
I'm going to jump in here with a little bit of nerd knowledge because this just popped into my head with the dimension of domestic engineer. There is a character from an old comic series, which was turned into a TV show, which some of you might remember, called The Tick.
I remember that?
The Tick. I remember The Tick.
It's just never watched. I read any of the comics, but I watched the TV show, the live action one.
You might remember this quote then. American made, the world's most patriotic domestic.
I remember her now.
I'm sorry, that just popped into my head with the dimension of domestic engineer. And I'm sorry, I wanted to hold off until your story and you were talking about it was done, but I was just like, I have to chime in with this because it's just too geeky not to.
I loved The Tick. I loved The Tick. And I don't know what it was about The Tick that I loved, but I love The Tick.
I love his battle cry, so.
Are you gonna do it? Do it.
Spoon!
Yes.
This is where I should wish I had some drops right now, because I just drop Spoon right now the entire time.
There you go.
Don't give me no back talk, sucker.
I have a couple of not drops, but I have whatchamacallits in my pocket. I've got like Mr. T, I've got Stewie around somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
My very own little Stewie. I basically I don't tend to do much Family Guy anymore because I have my own little Stewie running around. Although I'm pretty sure he's not homicidal, so let's hope it.
And I'm just gonna chime in here for a little bit because interrupt the Geek Fest here. to talk about more geeky stuff, tweets and everything. We love to hear your your tweets and everything. And the one thing I also want to hear from our listeners is, I know I mentioned this on the Twitter, and I think we mentioned it last week, but I would really like everybody to use like the hashtag myFC or myLC, and to give your free company and Link Shell a little mention on the show. So now,
Yeah, let's.
would you like to give a shout out to your FC or Link Shell?
This is a shout out to the Celestial Forge and all of my fellow members. It is a role playing show on Balmung, which is the classic RP server from 1.0, which is transferred over quite nicely. If you are in the need for any kind of role play related to anything match tech technology, or just need a new set of armor, look us up. We're in Mist Ward 2, Plot 1. Can't miss us. Enter Mist, take a right.
Got the view over here.
In fact, one of the hosts is standing right here looking at the house now.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
a nice house, I'll tell you that.
We should share servers, but I'm stuck. I'm stuck on Cactar, and unfortunately, I would give a shout out. And it's not that our ranks are closed, but as I discussed a little bit earlier, we're kind of taking a step back and taking some time to learn more about the people that we brought in, and help us kind of bond as an FC and as a group. So even though our ranks are closed, if you need a home and you're a good person, we'd be happy to take you in. And so we're on Cactar, and our clan tag is DUI, and it's exactly what it sounds like.
You know what? My Link Shell, I would like to give that out because I think I tried mentioning it last one, and there's no way I can pronounce it. It's Kawi. I'm not even gonna pronounce it, so I'm just gonna give this Link Shell out. And I know I've been shilling them a lot lately, but this is the Limit Break Radio's Link Shell, Laser Beak Raptors. It's like they almost like paid me to say that or something.
That came out so
Check your
flawlessly.
pockets, quick.
I'm so proud of you. So flawless.
We've been such a shield to them all for the last couple weeks. And this last bit of information that we have and for this podcast is going to be something personal, and I do apologize it for right now, and I'm probably putting her on the spot right now. But Zira, do you want to talk about this real quick?
Yeah, I won't go too much into detail, but I'll mention it. And then maybe we can put the link in the description or something.
It would definitely be in the show notes.
Awesome. So my link shell that I talked about a lot last week, I think, we got some really sad news from two of our friends, and I'm not going to go too much into detail, but they were trying to start a family and recently lost a baby. So the Link Shell has decided to put together a fundraiser. And right now I think we have, I want to say $60 donated out of our goal, which was 1,000, which, I'm not really expecting to meet it, but, anything that we can give them right now, support financially or otherwise, is awesome. And they popped in a few times to say hi, and we've kind of just, talked to them about what, the nice words that some people have said. So we're going to keep the fundraiser up. I think it's going to go for another 90 days or so. And then we will send them everything for hospital bills and memorial services and stuff like that. So we'll have the link somewhere for that.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that's how we're gonna go out today. A little on the sad part. I'm sorry,
Sorry.
but I mean, it is tragic when something like that does happen, and hopefully, people will actually, do this. We'll put it on our Twitter and even in the show notes, so it'll be out there if you want to donate. If not, words are nice too sometimes. At
Yep,
least
and
that's
we
what I
will
heard.
pass them on.
And as I told you before, anything I can do for them, and my thoughts and my heart really goes out to them right now. It's very hard to deal with what they're going through right now, and like I said, if there's anything that I can do um, help, let me know.
Tweet the link out to me directly. I'll send it out. I may not be able to do anything myself personally right now, but I will help get word out about this because this is something that definitely falls under what I consider a good, honorable, and definitely charitable cause. And I am always a sucker for anything charitable.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we will definitely give that to Nell. And we'll put it in the show notes and we'll put it on our Twitters and we'll try to get it out there as much as we can. And like I said, even if you want to give thoughts and even words, we'll pass them along and make sure that people get them that needs to get them. So,
Absolutely. I'll put together a Google Doc and I will literally copy and paste everything that is said. So, even if you can't donate, if you can, reblog or retweet and add some nice words or whatever, that's just as helpful, honestly. So, thanks in advance.
okay, well, next week we are live. So, I hate to, that's a hard thing to follow. It really is. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Because no matter how I say this, it's gonna sound like I don't care when I do care and everything.
no, you're fine.
There's just, you know what, there's not a lot of things that you can say because, and having been in that situation myself, although, different circumstances, you don't know what to say to somebody. And truthfully, there's nothing that you can say to somebody that's going to make it easier. But just knowing that there are people that are there for you makes
Yeah.
you feel a little, and so you don't have to say anything, just sending virtual hugs and thoughts can make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we're gonna end the show, and I'm sorry to the people out there that think that's such a downer, but it is really good. My heart does go out to those people. And next week we are live. We're really excited about that, and you can catch us 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. Whispering Dawn is what you can search for there. I hope to see a lot of people out, but if not, we'll take what we can get and everything. And as usual, we do this a certain way, and I will say my goodbyes, and the ladies here will say their goodbyes and everything. So I'm gonna say my goodbyes now. So hopefully everybody checks out our live podcast next week. And I will see everybody hopefully during the early access. Bye.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Take care, and if you're interested, check out my show, Chocobo Dash.